The world is a vampire.
I got a student up here at Mesa View that is refusing to do anything anybody says.
That's the voice of Farmington police officer Zachary Christensen, who walked the halls of Mesa View as a resource officer for the past 4 years. Here, he's talking about a 6th grade student who's in trouble.
This morning, she went straight to the cafeteria. She took more milks than she was supposed to. She threw a milk on the ground.
At this point, the girl is waiting for her mom to pick her up. We are concealing her face and identity because she's a minor.
The vice principal and principal have been following her around.
According to Officer Christensen's field report, the child assaulted 2 school employees. But take a look at the lapel camera footage. This is what the officer claimed was the first assault, as the student walks past the assistant principal. And this is what the officer says was the second assault.
Can't push him out of the way.
The girl tries to move past the principal to open the door. Then, Officer Christensen loses his patience.
Okay, I've had enough of this. Take your bag off. Take your bag off. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're not going to assault the principal.
The officer's lapel camera is knocked to the ground, but a school employee repositions it, capturing what happens next.
Put your arms behind your back. Put your arms behind your back.
Ow! You're hurting my arm. Get off of me. Ow!
Yes.
My arm.
I was just wondering if you were going to send anyone upstairs. Yes, I actually had a sub just come.
Turn over. Turn over.
Yes.
Do not resist.
Do
not resist.
Ow!
Stop resisting.
Get off me. Ow!
Exactly. All right.
Stop resisting.
Please stop resisting.
Stop resisting.
Ow!
Just stop, man.
Stop resisting. Stop. Put your arms behind your back.
Let me get off.
Zach, let's let her stand up.
A school administrator continues telling the officer to allow the girl to get up.
Officer Christensen, she is not a threat to yourself or others at this moment. You need to allow her to stand, sir.
In the report, the officer writes, quote, "She was very strong, stronger than I was." Again, a school employee tells the officer this has gone too far.
Sir, we are not going to use excessive force to get this done.
We're not excessive.
Yes, it is.
She's an 11-year-old girl, and it's a shock to the system to see that this is a thing that can occur at a school by a certified peace officer.
Attorney Mark Kernut is representing the student and her mother. They're now taking legal action against both the city of Farmington and the school.
When you have a situation where there's a report that says a felony is committed, another felony is committed, and then you review the factual documentation you have of that through the video, and it doesn't add up,
I want to go.
You don't get that option.
then there must be a level of accountability.
When I contacted the Farmington Municipal School District, a spokesperson told me they could not comment on pending litigation nor on personnel matters. However, they did send us this brief statement, quote, "The safety of our students and staff is one of our highest priorities." Meanwhile, at Farmington Police Headquarters, Chief Stephen Hebby tells us this video immediately triggered an internal investigation into Officer Christensen's conduct.
I was angry. You know, that's not our standards. That's not who we are. That's not how we train.
Why are you pushing me?
Because you are not free to leave now.
Why?
Because
Why?
I said so. You're being charged
Okay, we'll give
with
you a shot.
assault, with resisting.
Those charges against the student ultimately didn't stick, and Officer Christensen was placed on administrative leave the very next day. What would you say to those folks who see an officer, someone in a position of power, taking those actions?
Stuff like this is tough for the citizens to take. There's no doubt about it. As a chief, you know darn well that this is a failure for us.
Our 4 Investigates team has learned following the department's internal review, Officer Christensen was slapped with 2 violations for violating use of force policy and for unsatisfactory performance.
It's such a mess because we didn't follow the things that we know we should have been following. You know, we've been training on this. We talk about de-escalating. We talk about slowing things down. You know, and that didn't happen here.
Was he up to date on his training?
He was.
Still, the chief says the department moved quickly to discipline the officer.
Unfortunately, we did view the discipline as likely to be very serious, and the officer separated effective October 1st.
So he resigned?
He did.
Now, I spoke with Officer Christensen on the phone. He did not want to comment. Now, it's important to note that he has not been criminally charged, but this case has been referred to the San Juan County District Attorney's Office to consider possible charges. Nathan O'Neill, 4 Investigates.
But nobody